Good evening and welcome to Build Your Best Life with Coach Deborah D. Smith. I am super excited to have you all here today. Come on in and share. You know, I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. My 2022 theme is it's all about actions because you see, your words, your steps, your gestures, your facial expressions, your voice tone, what you write, and even the movement of your eyes all speak volumes. And those are your actions. What your actions say to others is crucial. So watch those actions. And I am excited to have my special guest here today, Miss, and I'm going to call her Kim, Miss Kim Brown, all the way from Dallas, Texas. And today we're going to be talking about a subject that I think will intrigue you and get you to thinking. But first off, I want to say good evening and welcome, Kim. Thank you so much for taking your time from your busy schedule to be on Build Your Best Life.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. And how is the weather in Dallas today?
Thank goodness it feels good today. It's not cold. We have some above 30 temperatures going on today.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I heard it's been pretty cold and icy.
It has. It has.
All right. Okay. So, can you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself before we get started?
I am a psychiatric assistance and advocate coach, and I've been certified for the last 11 years. I currently host a position where I mentor young girls um, into empowerment, wellness, health, and also educating not just the youth, but families overall, adults overall, about the health and wellness of heart.
Oh, awesome. Sounds very, very interesting. So, we have to team up with Cynthia and her girls and have a big team effort with males and females on. I think that would be great.
Most definitely.
Yes. Okay. Well, today Kim and I are going to be talking about, well, all of this month I'm going to be talking about associations because all the people in your life, your family, your friends, your foes, which basically is my theme for this month is family, friends, and foes. All of them interact with you in your actions. So they are very important. And so I wanted to read, as we talk about tonight, personality versus character. It says that personality can be defined as a combination of mental behavior and traits or quality like your thinking pattern. So, in other words, you know, a person can really fool you with their personality. You know, on the outside, they're showing you that, oh, they are just so nice and they're your friend and they want to be your bestie.
Right.
That's what's on the outside. However, with the character, it means that the person is enduring and in distinguishing their mental and moral characteristics as well as their behavior. So
Mhm.
it's basically what's on the outside, how they have been raised, how they believe that you should act each and every day, and it's consistent. So they can't be one way one day and a different way the next day. So
Right.
when we are choosing, I choose character over personality.
Exactly. Most definitely.
All right. So Kim and I are going to get started here. So you got to be careful with that. So people often think that someone only, they know someone only to learn, hey, they were wrong.
Hmm.
So do you believe this is due to a bad taste in character, or do you believe that they were just looking at the outside and still look instead of looking at that total person?
I believe that so often we're so fixated at how we want a person to be that we go in eyes half open. You can depict a person to be, I'll say, for instance, I always tell my son, you're looking for someone to fit who you are. And that's how I'll say our younger generation, they kind of look at each other today. Oh, she loves music. Oh, I love music. Oh, she loves hairstyles. I love hairstyles as well. So they look at it. I guess it's like a double-sided thing. You know, it is within bad taste because they don't take the time to actually get to know someone before they jump into I'll say friendship relationship status. So I guess to me it just kind of goes both ways. It can be within bad taste and judgment, or just that we're looking outward. You know, from our point of view, it's like she looks good, she walks good, she has great etiquette. This is the person for me.
Right. And they're so quick to do things now, this microwave mentality, just everybody's in a hurry. So they, you know,
Exactly.
well, you're probably too young, but it was a song years and years ago, son, take time to door.
Oh, that's it. You know, so you have to take the time, and they're so, like you say, they're so quick, and I won't say just I've done that in my past where it was just like I get so far into um the eyesight of this is how I want things to align
Hmm.
that I don't do the research. And
Right,
before you know it, now you're locked in because it's like, how do you pull away now that you connected with this person?
right. Great. Uh, well, good evening, Agnes, Dan, Peggy, Deacon Holmes. Thank you all for tuning in. So happy to have you here. We're talking about personality versus character. So, Kim, why do you believe people can display a personality that is not genuine? They can fake it.
Um, I would say they're doing it as a habit. It's a learn. It becomes a habit of I want people to see me this way, even though I haven't quite built up my own characteristics. They just create this type of person that they want to be, and they come like I say before you know it is not so genuine. If we pay attention to those, you know, to the people, the ones that we meet, there's always that one or two little things that kind of let you know this is not a person's genuine characteristics or their personality, and so but it's how they want to fit into a culture. They want to fit into an organization, or you know, it could be work related. That's what they fit in. So they put on their persona of not being as genuine, you know. But before you know it, there's like something's changed about them because they can't. It's a hard balance between the personalities and your characteristics. Sometimes you forget where you are, and then before you know it, you know, that genuine characteristics of yourself just kind of it comes out. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is different.
And where did that come from?
I didn't see that coming. That was a blind side to who this person really is when they, you know, put up so much of a shield of I'm this type of person. Yeah.
All right. And it's bad, and this is really going off the deep end, but I
Mhm.
think about it a lot when young people like middle school, early high school, and they start dating people and they
Yeah.
think they're so nice, and some of their friends will say, well, they act weird to me. Oh, they're so nice.
Oh,
And then you connect with them, and next thing you know, they've taken them somewhere and killed them or did something to them. It's like, okay, did you really get to know that person?
right. And they didn't really take the time because it's like I believe in school, you know, when especially when they're going into new education or development places, everything moves so fast. And they hear from other people, oh, that's a good person, that's a good person. Well, they were good to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they could be good to the next person that they meet.
All right. Yes. All right, let's see some activity back here on the comments. Let us know what you think about this. I think this is an interesting subject, personality versus character. So I believe a person's character is the critical aspect needed to focus on when getting to know someone. We really, 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 I think, need to get into that character. So we now know that that personality can be a facade or something that they can act, like they're nice. So the best thing to do with to be really to get into people characters. So I'm thinking maybe you need to see them in different settings, not like if it's a schoolmate. If you only see them in school, they only got so much wiggle room. But if you see them outside that environment, it may be different.
Yeah, yeah, I feel the same way. I'll say I recall a situation just like you mentioned. We met, at an event, and at the event, we knew what the structure of the event was all about. And for so long, that's how we, corresponded with each other. This is how we're going, this is how we talk. This is what we talk about. This is how we want to teach and educate everybody. But once we were out of that setting and we finally met on different grounds, um, things totally changed. It was like, oh, like you said, where did this come from? That person had more to deal with, that I felt, I say they get comfortable with you,
Right.
or once they get comfortable with you, then that real character, it comes out, that characteristic that they've been holding back, or hiding for so long, behind this different type of personality that they're displaying. It just comes out, and like I say, you're stuck sometimes. Not necessarily have to stay stuck, but you tend to get in that place where now you have to push yourself to a different level.
Right. Yeah, because you can get into a situation really where, just like you're saying, everything was just fine, but then you get in another environment and it's like, what in the world? And we never know. And it's okay, if people have certain conditions, low self-esteem or depression or whatever, and they have meds, but they get off those meds and it's a whole different ball game. So we need to have that conversation, well, I just want to let you know that I have these issues. So, if I don't come around, I don't call, that's why it is, I just need to be by myself and need some me time, to be honest and upfront.
And it's sad to say that that's how a lot of people are today, where they will hide that or not share it because of the embarrassment, thinking I don't want them to see me for my weakness.
All right.
But I think with society today, so many people are dealing with that today. And some people miss the platform of saying, oh, I can share this. But hey, totally up to the person. Can you share it? Do you really want to be upfront with somebody and let them know? But I think it all goes back to the environments that you step into. You have to really know yourself and prepare yourself for what you're going into. If I know I'm going into a job where they're all outgoing and open and cheery, and I know that that's really not me, now I've changed some things about myself to fit in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Yes, and then sometimes I think people will cope as long as they're kind of okay, but then just enough is enough. With the situation with Kanye, all of a sudden
Yeah.
everybody wants to say now that he's bipolar, or he has mental issues, but they didn't just happen. So before he has all this money, so you just overlooking all of that.
Mhm. Because
And
you fit in the circle. Yeah.
right. So that's another reason why people get themselves in the corners. So you get in the corner, then you cannot get out. in this situation, because there's so much money involved and she has money too,
Yeah.
she has an out. But how many people get in that situation and then it's like, oh, I'm stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned with with the Kanye situation. It's now he has this new biopic out. Everybody's getting to, everybody has formed their opinion about him because of what they see, on social media.
Right.
This is how he is, and everybody is so quick to just grab hold of what the next person is saying. He's crazy, he's this, he's that. But then now that they finally get to see where he's been, now they're like, oh, he really is a genius. See, you didn't get to really meet him and know him. And I think that's how it is for a lot of people today. If you don't take that time and you don't follow their journeys, their steps,
Right.
who they've been around, that can actually tell you this is how he is, or this, and then you get to know who this person is, because it's easy for them to say, oh yeah, he's a cool person, or yeah, she's a good girl. Well, how well do you really know that person? Let me
Right.
out myself. You know how the pastor say, he always say, well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information, but I want you to go out and find it and read it for yourself, so that way you know.
Right.
Right.
All the facts.
All the facts. That way you can't say that I told you anything.
All right. That is so true. All right. Um, so if a person is wearing that personality mask, how can do you think a young person can unveil that mask to get down to that true character, to find out who that person that they're dealing with really is?
um, I say time. Taking time to really get to be a part of that person's life. Um, that mask is so, it's hard to really define it. So I would say meeting people and they're wearing that personality mask, and you start seeing the little, I'll say, cracks in the mask. Um, you'll start finding out what it is. It'll make you curious about them,
Mhm.
because I've been in situations where it's just like that personality mask is like slowly coming down, but that's as you're starting to really get to know that person, and you start seeing, oh well, she had a traumatic life, and
Right.
slowly these little bitty cracks start getting bigger and bigger, but that's only because you're finally getting to know that person, and the mask is coming off. But you have to really be careful. I say be careful when you know that someone is wearing that personality mask versus you really knowing their true character, because it's like, are you prepared for that? Are you prepared to go in and start asking them to pull that mask off? Because what's behind that mask, that character could be not as gentle as the personality that you see on the front side.
Right. And I don't know why this just came to me, but I was thinking about when you said that. So, you can't really see that person until they let their guard down and you begin to see these little subtle changes. And I thought about, it's just like you have little girls and little boys now, and someone wants to have a sleepover,
Yeah.
and you're inviting my child to a sleepover.
Mhm.
Okay, you've seen those parents pick that child up. You've seen those parents in a meeting. Have
Uh-huh.
you been inside the house?
Exactly.
Do you
Exactly.
know what goes on when the lights are out?
Yeah.
Are you really going to allow your child to go and spend the night?
Yeah. So you haven't taken time to even get to know the parents in order to officially just open up the door and invite that child in.
Right.
And now I remember back in our days, I'm over 50, I'll say that. I, back in our days where the parents knew each other. Even if we were, we going to school, there was the neighborhood, block parties and everything. So you knew what was going on. It wasn't that you were just really being nosy in the household, but you took time out to really know the parents and what's going on in the household. And by the time the kids were like, we want to have a sleepover, you already knew what was going on in the house or what to expect of that child.
All right.
Or you had, enough time to conversate with the parents and ask them, is there anything that I should expect? Does your child have bad dreams and stuff? So yeah.
All right.
So
Yep. Take that time to know everything that is going on. Hindsight won't do it. You have to ask those what I call critical questions. You go ahead and ask what you need to ask, do the research. Because I think, even asking all the questions, I don't know. Nowadays, I just don't know.
I want to go out and do that peep test. Like, okay, let me go out and see what else I can find. I know I don't want to depend on social media to the fullest, but you still have to go out and do that extra bit of research on that person to see what were they really like. Let me get around some friends. I've become so stickler in my ways to where it's just like, if I know you, let me at least meet 2 or 3 other people that know you.
Right.
If it's feasible, somebody that works with you and somebody that lives around you, somebody that goes to church with you and somebody that grew up with you. You want to, but it's so hard to find that balance sometimes. But you got to look for it. You
Yes,
got to
you
look.
have to. It's very, very important. At least somebody that's been up in the house. Yes. All right. So, what advice, Kim, would you give our audience in looking beyond that personality, that outside, to determine the actual characteristics of a peer or a friend or whomever?
I would say, to me, it's all about time. It's all about time when getting to know someone, when you meet someone. It's we're seeing people each and every day. Um, I'll say it in the career field. You're meeting people every single week, or take the time to get to know that person. Create your levels of where you want to be in this person's um, lifestyle. Whether it's um, if you're going to create a personal, I say we can be on a business level, but do I want to go outside of the business level with you? And if that's the case, either way, you still have to do your homework. You have to take the time. Don't be so quick to rush into these friendship relationships. Um, don't be so quick to jump on as my grandmother used to always say, baby, every bandwagon ain't the bandwagon that you want to be on. May not playing the same type of music that you like. So
Right.
I say when it all boils down to it, be cautious, be aware, um, because it's trickery out here today. There's so much going on in people's lives, and there's a lot of people are so quick to put on that mask of who they want to be in life, not necessarily who they really are, because they want that instant gratification or that instant friendship, that instant uh, career. I was telling my son a couple of months ago that you do have to be careful with the circles that you place yourself in. Um, just because all 5 of them like one thing, be careful of that one person in that circle, because they could be the one holding the key to the whole breakdown of this little circle that you guys are in. So do your homework, um, and take that time to get to know people before you actually start hanging out with them on a personal level, because their character may pop out at any time. Then
Right.
you're stuck.
Yes. And that one, that last one, that is so key. I think there are so many of our young men that would not be incarcerated today if they would heed that, because, they're quick to jump in the car with someone. Oh, that's just the guy down the street. That's just
Mhm.
the guy in my chem class. But do you know them?
Right.
If you are a little angel, but you in
Mhm.
the car with somebody that's the devil, you're going down too.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just like we don't know who to believe now. Yeah, you look sweet and innocent, and everything about you smells good, but when the mask comes off,
Mm.
look at who you've actually connected with. Because like I say, we see it every day. Where story goes to tell is, I was just catching a ride from school. Well, in class, in school, that person has to be obedient. They have to, carry on the persona of, I'm this good student, I make A's and B's, I don't really deal with nobody. Step outside the school doors, their whole life just totally unfolds. Um, I'm just going to use my son. He's always been an introvert. He really didn't hang with a lot of kids, so that it caused the narrative of how he um, interacted with other kids to kind of be like, what's really going on with him. But he was one of those kids that really would sit and watch you for a long period of time before he decided to be friends with you. You could Several of the kids live 2 3 houses down, but he's never been that type of child to hang out with the, as they say today, a clique of kids.
Mm.
um he was very watchful of that, and I'm glad of that. But I would
Yes.
say that he's always paid attention to every door. There were some doors he went behind and just like, you have to be careful, because as we say, that personality mask comes off, and you finally start getting to know this person, and that person could be somebody very harmful, not just to your character, but everybody else's character around you. Because it'd be like, how could they let this person come around them? We didn't know the characteristics of this person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just like I talked about this on a previous show, but I mean, it's just something I can't forget about, and it just gives me goosebumps. But in this, it was a Law and Order, Law and Order episode. I think SUV,
Uh-huh.
and the little boy, his uncle was supposed to be watching him,
Hmm.
but he wanted to go see his girlfriend. So he left him there, and he wasn't supposed to get online. He's supposed to do his homework. But of course, he's about 9 years old. So what was he going to do? First, as soon as the uncle was gone, he was online. And
Yeah.
his friend online says, "Hey, you want to come over to my house?"
Uh-huh.
Because his friend knew he was always home alone. That's why he could play these games on online games. So
Right.
sure, well, meet me here. And he tells him where to meet him. He grabs his backpack and he's off. And he's standing on the corner. He's waiting for his friend. And this man says, "Hey," and he calls his name because, of course, he knows his name because it wasn't a friend. It was this man,
Right.
you know. And he's like, "Yeah, I came to pick you up." And he's like, "Well, where's Matthew, my friend?" He said, "Oh, well, his mom made him finish doing his homework, and I told him I would come pick you up. But he's waiting. He wants to play that game." So,
Yeah.
and good things didn't happen to him. But that's just that thing.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're talking to.
Yep. And I remember, just like say, with that same story here in the neighborhood, it's just like the kids are so easy to, we have to watch out for manipulation. Teach our kids today. Be mindful, be open, keep your eyes open, and don't just jump into it. I mean, I'm looking at it from with the kids, even up till age 18, 19 years old, we're still having to tell them, you have to be aware, you have to pay attention, because I could tell you anything, and you pick it up, all because I said something that was similar to it. And it goes back to where I was saying, it's something that we so desire. Like, I really want to meet people that are into music. Well, they could be into music, but what type of music? I love going to movies and watching movies, and we could be on Facebook or anything and talking about certain movies and not really know, so it's like we were like, oh yeah, well, we talk about this on, on Facebook all the time, or the
Mhm.
movie was good, but then they'll say, well, hey, how about we meet for at at this time? Well, did you discuss what movie you were actually going to go see? The movie
Right,
title of the movie could be anything very sweet and simple, but did you do the research to find out what this movie was really about?
right.
And that will get you each and every time. And like I say, how do you turn away sometimes? It's just like, oh no, that's not for me. I'm one of those, my mom always say, she's always the one to say no in the end. I will look, and people will turn and look at me, and they'll say, are you going to come here? And I'll be like, let me think about it, and I'll get back with you.
You give them that look.
That's my phrase. I say, everybody know me. I'm so quick to say, child, let me get back with you. I don't want to answer now because I may give you the wrong answer. So let me think about it. Then
Right,
we'll go. And by that time, I've done my little research and figured out, asked a few questions. You got to slide those questions in on them to really see. And before there you find those characteristics, and it makes it easier. Like say, if you do the unmasking before you just jump into something, it makes it a whole lot smoother for you to pull back. That transition between friend or foe,
that's
find a
right.
characteristic about the person, and make it easier. Like, I'm sorry, I can't join you guys today. I don't lie, but I do have some things going on.
I can't do that.
I can't do that. Not today. It just don't fit within my life right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the friend, it's your friend and you see them at work and then they invite you over to the house and you go over to the house and then you get over there and it's like, what in the world? They smoking weed and they doing something else. I don't know what they doing. So next time you ask me, hey sis, you want to go to my house? Oh, no, I know I got something to do.
I just, it's today just ain't my day to come over nowhere. I'm
Nah.
stuck in the house. I say the pandemic kind of helped a lot of people in a certain kind of way. It's like,
Yes.
no, no, no. See, I'm being very, very cautious. I'm being
Most-
very cautious, and I just don't want to get out. Thank you though for asking.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We're almost down to our closing question. Good evening, Tamika. Thank you for tuning in. We are here talking about personality versus characteristics. So, Kim, as we close, can you give our young men and our young ladies some tips on how to make better decisions, choosing individuals to intertwine in their lives? Who should they, so how, what do they need to look for when they are trying to find someone to interact with?
I always tell my students, get to know you first. It's very important that you get to know you first, because once you know yourself, inward and outward, make your decisions on your friends, the people that you meet, based on how you want them to treat you and how you want them to approach you, and going forward. If you want a respectful person, um, be respectful to yourself. Be honest about, open and honest about what you want in life. So often people don't disclose a lot. You have to open yourself up, not saying too much to where you're giving your whole life story away, but when you're meeting someone, um, be cautious. That's the best that I always tell my children. I used to tell, and I have two daughters, and they're over 25 years old, and that one thing that you have to really catch them and say, be very cautious, because a young man he will woo you with words, and don't just take his words, for, oh, this is a good friendship. Take it still goes along that take your time, get to know the person, find out, ask their questions. You know how back in our days they always say you got to interview the person that you want to be with, baby. Don't just jump into everything that comes face forward to you. And sometimes first, how they say, I fell in love the first moment that I put my eyes on you. You just saw me walk around that corner and you fell in love, but you don't know my true characteristics. You don't know what I've been through in my life. Can you handle it? And I always tell them, I say, think about that when you're meeting somebody. You don't know what they've been through in life, so you never want to jump into something that you know that you can't handle. What is one, I'll use a military vet. They go through that PTSD.
Yes.
Can you handle it? Find out what what's been going on in their lives. And if they tell you this is what they're going through, I'm not saying don't break a friendship with them. You can always have that person to know. But don't try to, don't go anywhere further than that. If you know that you don't, do the research behind that. How serious is PTA? That type of disorder. People can go further than, like I said, if they were child abused.
Yes.
You have to be careful about that. Not everybody's going to disclose it, but there will be telltale signs of something once you take the time and get to know people. When you become comfortable with that person, they'll open up. That mask will come off and you'll start picking up on that, the little symptoms. So my advice would be just take your time, do your research on people. Understand who they are. Invite them into your surroundings first to see if they actually fit in your. If they don't your circle, there's a sign, because they'll tell you, oh, well, that's really not for me. And I say, if you feel a little tug on something, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, we know again. And I don't know why these things keep popping in my head, but thinking about personality and how people can put on that mask. You remember, I'm sure you saw For Colored Girls,
Yeah.
that movie. All right, remember the guy? Every day he would just walk up, meet her in this same spot every day. Hi, you look so good. Want you to go out with me? And she just kept saying no, no, no. And then she finally, okay, well, you can take me to dinner. She's thinking, well, what can happen at dinner? So they go to dinner. He's just such a gentleman.
Yeah.
But you don't know anything about him. You don't know where he works, any of his friends, anything like that. So then you let the man come to your house.
And that was it.
Right.
I believe in date me. Let's go on several dates. Let's go on a date with some of my friends and some of your friends. Let's see how that kind of works out for us. Because they will tell. Some of those friends will tell.
Yes.
And like I say, people, we move so fast. I'm guilty of it at times on certain situations where I often have that thought of, I should have just taken, a couple of more shorter steps, asked a lot more questions. That way I wouldn't be out in these situations.
Right.
And building up these, I'll say, I'm put it on the, perspective for the young men. Teach them to be more open about their life, because it hits them the same way as it would hit these young women. You find a young woman and you never know what she's been through in her life.
All right.
And she will latch on to you for that. You could be the best of the best, but she has those situations and you don't know how to handle that.
All right.
And then you're stuck. You're stuck.
Yep. And you don't want to get stuck.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes. So yes, this has been a very good, I think, talk with personality versus characteristics, because sometimes we just don't ask enough questions. We try to go too fast. But now, y'all please share this with some others that they can look at this and see the difference and like, oh, okay. Oh, now I got it. Because people can fake you out. They can, oh, yes, I'm just so prim and proper, and be swinging on the pole at 12 o'clock at night.
And you wake up 5 days down and somebody have a picture of, well, isn't this who you were with the other day?
Right. Yeah. So you have to be very, very careful.
Yes.
So we hope that this session will help you or help someone that you know. So please, please, please share. And if you did not see the entire video at your convenience, please go back and view it. It will always be on Facebook and YouTube for you to go back and reference. Now, thank you so much, Kim. If you could, again, tell people where they can contact you and what it is, again, that you're doing with girls, in case they tuned in late.
You can find me on Facebook at KEMAMIRA Empowerment. We're an organization where we empower young girls and counseling for women with wellness, health and wellness. I'm also on Facebook, on Instagram with KEMAMIRA Empowerment as well. I'm always online, so reach me there.
Okay, and how do you spell it?
It is CHICAMIRA.
Oh, KEMAMIRA. All right, got that. All right. Thank you so much, and thank everyone for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and please make sure that you visit my website. It's www.buildyourbestlife.org. And there on Mondays, I release a blog each Monday that you can read at your leisure. It'll be there for the entire week. And well, they never go away as well. They're always there, but a new one comes out each Monday. And also you can find out about myself. You can see my calendar of events and the services that I offer, which is coaching, consultations. I do speaking and webinar speaking. And also on there, you can get a copy of my book. You can get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. And this is about your life, your actions, and your credibility. And it is for all age groups. It will help you to follow basic principles to build your best life or to assist someone else in doing so. And if you like Kindle version, you can get the Kindle version on Amazon.com. But thank you all so much for tuning in again. You could have been anywhere else on Tuesday, so I appreciate you being here on our platform. Please join us on Thursday, March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for What to Look For in a Friend. What to look for in a friend.
Awesome.
So, your life is what you make of it. Please follow my basic principles so that you can begin to build your best life, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but now. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Stay warm and dry. I love you all. Thank you and bye-bye.
Have a good one.
You too.